Wagwan, my name is Jermaine and welcome to Picatude, and in today's video we're going to look at how to personalize a plastic tumbler with the use of adhesive vinyl along with crack and peel paper. So here you see my Roland GX24 cutter, and in a minute you see the cutting carriage moving across the vinyl as it takes shape to cut the design that was sent to it. So as you can see, the cutting carriage is making its way throughout the design, making that contour cut. So in a minute you'll see me taking the vinyl from the cutter and taking it to the cutting table where the weeding process takes place. Weeding is a process that get rid of the negative space. So you see me here taking the vinyl from the cutter and taking it to the cutting table. Now we're at the cutting table, you'll see me using a knife to cut the vinyl down to shape. Well, not necessarily shape, but down to size, so it's more manageable for the weeding process, as you see. So here is another design that was sent. I'm also cutting it down to shape to making it even more manageable. Now I'm using a Bigfoot ruler to cut it down to size so I can get straighter edges. And here you'll see me now, because there are multiple designs or names on this sheet, so you'll see me taking an X-Acto knife and cutting, not cutting through the vinyl and the backing, but basically scoring the vinyl to separate the design so it's easier to weed. So you'll see me weeding here the first name, and we go through the process of weeding the other names and picking out the cavities of the letters and so on and so forth. So weeding can be very challenging, so you want to be careful, take your time. Sometimes the letters may tend to come up as you pick the letters, so just take your time. And also remember that you don't necessarily have to have a Roland GX24, because this tends to be one of the more expensive cutter. You can use this with a Cricut, or you can use this with a Silhouette Cameo. There are many other cutters out there, so you can use a cutter of your choice. So other cutters will be in the form of a Graphtec, a Muta, and so on. So you can do your research, see which cutter fits in your budget. So here you will see me weeding the first part of the vinyl that was being cut, which is the yellow one. So I'm just weeding that one here. So in a minute you will see me reaching for the transfer tape or the mask to mask the vinyl, so you'll be able to lift the vinyl from the back end. Alright, so here you see me putting the vinyl on top of the transfer tape. So basically just measuring it to make sure that the sizes is fine, and then apply it to the vinyl. So here I'm putting it in place, aligning the transfer tape, and then using a squeegee to squeegee, make sure there is good adhesion. Here you see me doing the larger design where you have the 4 names, and the same is done here. So you squeegee from inside out and sometimes from top to bottom as well. Just make sure that you get rid of the air bubbles and there's good adhesion between the transfer mask or the transfer tape and the vinyl. So in a minute you see me using that Bigfoot roller again to make sure I get straight edges to cut the vinyl. Well, not the vinyl, but to cut away the areas that I don't need and to separate each of the names from that big sheet of backing. So that is what is happening here. Oh, all right. So just bear with me here as I cut through the remainder of the designs, or the names if you want to refer to it as such. So that's pretty much the process in terms of cutting down your design to size. After that, you will then remove the transfer tape along with the vinyl and then adhere it to the substrate, in this case, which is a plastic tumbler. So in a minute you'll see me get the same squeegee because it has some ridges, and I'll set the tumbler on top just to make sure it doesn't roll, and then apply the vinyl. So here you see me putting the squeegee in place and setting the tumbler on top. As I said, I mentioned the ridges, so that prevents it from rolling. So here you see me removing the vinyl along with the transfer tape from the backing, and then you want to make sure that you clean the substrate, the tumbler, make sure there is no lint, no dirt, no oil, no grease, no moisture. So as you can see, I'm using my fingers to create some amount of friction as I try to get the vinyl to adhere to the tumbler. I want to make sure there's good adhesion and also there's no air bubbles. So I take my time, use my thumb, and you can use a piece of sponge or a rag and just rub it. As you see me now, I'm peeling away the mask, the transfer tape. You want to peel this away at a 45-degree angle. You do not want to lift the transfer mask as it may tend to lift the vinyl up. However, if you're peeling at a 45-degree angle and you see the vinyl coming up, you can push back the transfer tape along with the vinyl to make sure it adheres to the substrate, which is a tumbler. Here, you will see the cutting carriage with an optical eye scanning the registration marks, and now it's contour cutting this crack and peel paper with the design with the circular edges or radius on the edges. So now I'll take this design to the cutting table to adhere to the tumbler. So you see me peeling away the design because it was contour cut. So you see me using the squeegee again with the ridges to make sure that it doesn't roll. But then I figured, to get it closer to the camera so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing, I lift the tumbler from the squeegee, and as you see me gently putting it down and squeegee from the inside out slowly to one side, and then you do the next side. Crack and peel paper adhesive is very strong, so once it touches, it's very difficult to remove. So you want to be careful as you put this down. And as you see, that's the finished product. So as you take a look, please consider to subscribe, share this video with a friend. You may know someone who is interested to start their own tumbler business. So thank you. See you in the next video.